have just created something totally illogical.
Hey folks, welcome back to Sidetracks Board Game Club. One of our goals at Sidetracks is to welcome new people into the gaming hobby. So what is the gaming hobby? I'll start off by saying what it's not. A lot of times you'll drive around town and you might see these neon signs that say skill games. That's not what we do at Sidetracks. We're not into slot machines or gambling or anything like that. Tabletop gaming is really a bunch of little niches within an overall niche, I guess you would say. So let me go through and explain some of the different parts of gaming, because when people come to Double Looks or talk about tabletop gaming, they may be talking about completely different things. One aspect of modern gaming is what are called CCGs, or collectible card games. And the most famous of these is Magic the Gathering, but you also have Pokemon, which has cartoons and video games and a whole bunch of other spin-offs as well. There's Yu-Gi-Oh! Disney recently in the last couple years came out with a collectible card game called Lorcana. There's a whole variety of them. Star Wars, there's a bunch of collectible card games, but Magic is by far and away the most popular out of all of them. And collectible card games sort of remind me of baseball cards. When I was a kid, we collected baseball cards, and we would make up our own games with those cards. But each year you would get new cards, and there were, collecting the cards themselves was as much a hobby as actually playing with them or doing anything with them. Magic is constantly, the rules are constantly evolving and changing. There's new cards, there's new stuff coming out. I'm not really into CCGs, so I don't claim to be an expert on it or, know a whole heck of a lot about it. But I can tell you that when you go to a game store, Magic the Gathering and collectible card games are probably the most popular and the biggest reason that those game stores are there. And it's the thing that people are most interested in. So CCGs are a huge part of the gaming hobby. Another aspect of the gaming hobby, one that I'm not really into, but I've played a few times, is role-playing games. And the most famous of these would be Dungeons and Dragons, although there are multiple, all kinds of different role-playing game scenarios as well. And role-playing games, if you don't like the constraints of a board game or a card game where there's very defined rules and sort of very a limited play space, a role-playing game is much broader, much more wide open. It's, if you really enjoy being imaginative and creative and you want to create your own characters and sort of make things up as you go, there are loose systems of rules. But really, it's sort of a storytelling thing. A lot of people get into what's called cosplaying, where they may actually dress up as their character. And so it's more of a creative endeavor as much as it is a game. And some people are totally into role-playing. Again, I've played a few times. I don't know that I'm creative enough for it. I'm a recovering engineer, and my brain tends to be analytical and logical and likes defined rule sets. So RPGs just aren't my thing. But again, a lot of people are really into RPGs. Another niche within tabletop gaming is miniature games. And the most famous of these, or the most popular, is probably Warhammer. And these actually have little physical miniatures. And some people enjoy painting the miniatures and sort of that part of it. Back when I was a kid, I used to put together model airplanes and model cars and stuff. And some people like the modeling and painting hobby. Well, with miniature games, you can actually paint those miniatures and create those models and then actually play a game with them as well. So a lot of people love miniature gaming. Down at Double Looks, they have a whole room that is just paint supplies and big, huge games for tabletop miniature games. And these games tend to be pretty sprawling. They take up a lot of space. So having a place like Double Looks where you can go and set these things up and leave them set up or get together with other people, maybe you don't have the space at home, going to a game shop is a perfect place to be able to play these miniature type games. And so the last type of gaming that I guess I'll mention is board games and card games. And that's really what I enjoy and what we focus on at Sidetracks. A lot of times you think of board games and the first thing you're going to think of is Monopoly and Risk and Chutes and Ladders and Candyland. And when you think of card games, you might think of Uno, okay? But there's a huge wide range of board games and card games. And I'm going to be doing a video next week on sort of why I love tabletop board games and card games and why I think it's a great hobby. But our Wednesday nights, when we have our Wednesday night meetups at Double Looks, that's what we're focusing on. We're focusing on that niche within a niche, okay? And if you go to a board gaming convention right now going on in Indianapolis, either last week, this week, it's in August every year. There's the biggest game convention in the United States called Gen Con. And when you go to a gaming convention like that, it has all these different genres of games. You'll find RPG players, you'll find CCG players, you'll find tabletop miniatures, you'll find lots of board gamers, you'll find all different kinds of folks. And some people sort of cross genres and they dabble and they like to play in all those different areas. And other people tend to focus on a particular area. So on our Wednesday nights, we're going to be focused on tabletop card games and board games. But the cool thing about it is Double Looks has all these different things. And so depending on what you're interested in, you can find different activities and different nights of the week to explore any different part of this hobby. So we just want to make sure everybody knows you're welcome to come down, try it out. If you're interested in dipping your toes into any part of this hobby, come on down and see us, and we're happy to talk to you and answer any questions you have. See ya.